So here's some color tips. When you look at trends, everybody wants to know the trends, but all I say is to be yourself. Don't paint just because it's a trend, because if it's not you, it's not going to feel right. The key of that too is when you choose a color that reflects you, you don't get tired of it. When you choose a color that someone else told you to paint because it's the hot color, or everybody's painting their house, everybody's painting their dining room red, so you should paint it red. If it's not you, it's not going to work, and you will get tired of it. But if it's something that reflects you, you're not going to get tired of it. And if you think of that with every single thing you buy for your home, every single thing, if it has meaning to it, you won't get tired of it. Okay, so white should only be intentional. White, okay, should not be your default color, and a lot of people leave it white because they don't know what color to paint it. But it looks very unfinished. You know, so you got all this great, beautiful furniture, and then you have this off-white wall, and it's just not working. You know, it's just like if you want white, because white is a very great color if you're using it because you want it to be white, and white is a big trend, and it's coming back again. I can't believe it. It was just here 3 years ago, and it's coming back again. But so you should try to find the color that works and not leave it white. Okay. Use colors at least twice in a space. So if you have a great, I don't know, like a big statue of something that's bright pink, and your whole space, you know, has gray and blacks and whites and everything, it goes with the pink, but you don't have one other stitch of pink in the room, it's going to stand out like a sore thumb. So you want to make sure that you repeat that color somewhere else in the room, or somewhere else that you can see from the room. So if you have a great room that looks into a dining room, that looks into a kitchen, somewhere else. So you want to connect all your colors together and at least repeat the colors twice. So you have two different ideas here. You can either use the gallery approach, where you want to use a painting on a white wall, so you don't want to detract at all from that painting. The painting, it's all about the painting. Or if you just take this, so we took the color from the lotus up there, that really soft pink, and we put that soft dusty pink on the wall. And just look how it connects to that painting. It makes that painting even more part of the space. And paintings and artwork are one of the best ways for you to choose your colors, because that's, if you bought that, it's something you probably really love. So I always recommend, if you've got artwork, that's where you should look for your colors for your walls first. Just my opinion. Contrast or camouflage. So if you have a bright pink or a ugly pink countertop in your kitchen, or a bathtub that you're like, oh, I'm just going to forget it's not there, and I'm going to just paint whatever color I want because I'm just going to pretend it's not there. If you don't take that color into consideration, it's going to stand out like crazy. So if you've got this bright or pink or green bathtub in your bathroom and you don't like it, you have to choose a color where it's going to camouflage it. So those cosmetic, blushy colors that are brown and tan, that are brown and pink, that have pink undertones with it, use that on the wall, and your bathtub is going to disappear. Like, it's not going to be as evident. So always take that into consideration. You got to look at everything. Okay, strong or wrong. So, you know, you paint the color and you don't like it, and it's bad, and you don't feel right. Well, you have to remember that your eye takes 2 weeks to adjust. So if you went from something that was beige to a bright pink or to a dark red, and you're like, oh, it's awful, because your eye's remembering that tan, you got to give it 2 weeks. And then if you still hate it after 2 weeks, you need to repaint. That's called color shock. And it's true. Your eye remembers that color, and it can't get used to the new color yet. So, all right, you always choose your paint color last, because paint colors are not limited. We can match any color. Any color. Okay? So you choose your flooring, you choose your fabrics. It's so funny, like you can go in and choose your kitchen cabinets, $25,000 worth of kitchen cabinets in what, a couple hours maybe? I don't know, maybe a week or two. And it takes you 6 months to choose your paint color. But you want to make sure you choose all of those big pieces first, and then come back and choose your paint color, because we can match anything. Okay? So very, very, and a lot of people don't do that. They want their paint color first, and I totally tell them to do the other, to choose it last. All right, this is what we do. So we go in and we get our little paint chips from the paint store, and we go home and we stick it on the wall like this. And you can't, and this is what we all do. But you don't want to hold it against a white wall, because the color is not going to be on a white wall. Do you know what I mean? So you're not like, so you got to put your color next to your couch, next to your floor, next to your window treatments. You got to lay the color right next to it. Because if it's on the white wall, you're not going to get an idea. That's why it's so hard when you have all those little chips like paint, stuck on your wall, like with the tape, and you can't figure out which color because it's not, you're looking at the color on white, and it's not going to be on white. Does that make sense? The color is going to be fully on the wall. So you got to have it with your furniture and everything else that's in the space. So you try the little jars, or you get the large samples. We have 8 by 12 samples of all of our colors that you can order online. So you just get those nice samples and you bring them home and you lay them next to your furniture, because that's how it's going to interact when you get it on the wall. So if you've got a place with not a lot of light, even the purest white is not going to make it look white and light. So you want to add yellow. Anything with a yellow tint is going to give it a lot more freshness, more sunshine, and avoid the gray and muddy colors, because again, those are going to look, it's just not, it doesn't have a lot of light, so it's not going to look very, very good. You want to use pure and creams for a small space. The other thing with small spaces is what I recommend is, everybody says, I don't want to paint a small room a dark color because it'll make it look dark, make it look smaller. The room's already small. It's not going to ever be big. So I recommend a color that you love to make it cozy. Because I mean, when you sit there and you're like, I'm going to paint it a light color because then it's going to look bigger. It's not really. If you paint it a dark, beautiful, rich color, it's going to be cozy, and that's what a small room is supposed to be, cozy. So that's just a little tip there. All right, the ceiling. Think of it as the fifth wall. So bring the ceiling down. If you had a fifth wall in your room, would you paint it white? Everybody always says paint your ceilings white because it brings the room up. It can, but when you look at your paint and you've got this great color on the wall, and it's right up against the ceiling, which is white, it's such a disruption. So you carry either that color from the walls onto the ceiling, or if it's too dark, you go up a couple on the stripe card and pull that color, or find another color in the room and paint it that color. So if you have, let's say you have a beige sectional in the space and you painted your walls, you went with that green. There's another green that's out right now called lichen, which is beautiful. It's a bright green. And then you pull that tan onto the walls or onto the ceiling instead of a white. Because if you don't have anything else white in the room, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So always think of the ceiling as the fifth wall. The backs of bookcases, which are really fun. So if you have some fun things to highlight, you could do different colors there. And again, look how we're pulling in the different colors. We're repeating the colors. The yellow with the couch, the green with the chair. Closets, although we painted this white, we shouldn't have that white. But you could paint your closet a great fun color, and you should use Pure Performance because there's no odor. So your clothes won't have that paint smell. Do you put it back? Kids in color. They always pick the really, really dark colors. So like, let's say like they want their room, black. Or whatever, just go up like 2 or 3 on the stripe card. They're not going to know. They're not going to know, especially if they're really young. They won't know that it's not the same color. So if they pick a really dark orange, maybe just go up 2 or 3 and you'll get a really nice orange and it'll look great and they'll love it. So, because they're always going for the really dark. But if it's you picking the color for yourself, okay, a lot of people, and I had my neighbor do this, she went and she looked in and she wanted a gray because she was painting Batman on the wall for her son, and she went to a really nice dark gray. She goes, well, that's going to be too dark. So she went up 2 because she was scared, and it looks like it's dirty. The wall looks dirty. Always go with your first instinct because your eye knows the color. Like it's like whenever you're looking at the colors like that are available to you, almost if you go with the one you thought of first, it almost always is right. When you start questioning yourself, saying, oh, it's a little too dark, I'm going to go up, it almost always is wrong. So at least that's what we've seen. Stairs to your basement, like hallways are fun for color. Kitchen cabinets. Okay. Another way to get you past those 2